Around the world, good evening. Welcome to ChitChat Radio 410. It is 7:30 on a Wednesday, which means it is time for Logical Wellness with Camille Jones. I am she is me. And for the next hour, we're going to get better together. Welcome to all of you who are new. Welcome to our maiden voyage. We invite you to come and be a part of this awesome family. Make sure to keep up with all the shows, all the great music by going to our website at chitchatradio410.com. Chitchatradio410.com. Those of you who are following me on a live on IG, thanks for following. Those that are new to me, it is nice to meet you. My name is Camille Jones of CEJ Images, and I am your holistic healer that is going to walk you through steps to wellness. Every Wednesday, 7:30 to 8:30, it is your logical wellness show. What does it mean to be logical in wellness? I'm going to get to that because wellness is logical. It is not scientific, and we've been programmed to think differently. I always start with some disclaimers. I am not a doctor. I am a holistic practitioner. I am a holistic healer. What that means is I don't believe in disease. I believe in states of inflammation that can be reverted if you know how to detox the body. Many of us don't know how, and they're easy. There are ways for us to do that at home on our own, and we're not taught that in school or by anyone else. So let me give you a little background about me. Let me tell you who I am, where I come from. I am originally from the DMV area. I now live in Atlanta with my wonderful husband. And I commute between Maryland and Atlanta to see clients. I am a high frequency lymphatic drainage specialist, which, if you don't understand about the lymphs or about high frequency, that doesn't mean anything to you. I am also a sinus specialist. I specialize in detoxing sinus cavities, which for all of us should be one of the most important things for you to live by. If you are joining me on IG, thank you for doing so. And we are simply taking our regular lives and we're transferring it to the radio. Make sure, you guys, that you follow us for all stories. Make sure that you follow us on YouTube for full episodes, Chit Chat Radio 410. Make sure you subscribe to the website, chitchatradio410.com, so that you can stay abreast of everything that we're doing. We've got great music, great shows. This is the maiden voyage, so we hope you enjoy it. Again, holistic practitioners. What are we? What do we do? What do we believe? That depends on who you are and what you do. So I want to start with this, and I always start with this. Many people call me doctor. I am not a doctor. Don't want to be. I was raised by doctors, and I was very blessed to be so because most of what I learned from them. However, I am not a doctor. People call me a doctor. And I get the implied compliment. Really, I do. However, it's not necessarily a compliment to me. Why? Because how many times, and I'll wait, how many times have you actually gone to the doctor and felt better? Most of the times you go feeling a little worse, right? Saddled with some medications or diagnosis or something. Everybody feels better when they leave me. So that is the reason that I say to people that being called Dr. Jones is not necessarily a compliment to what I do. Now, I do not listen because people are sensitive. I do not take anything away from doctors. I do not. They are very studied people. And I was blessed again to be raised by three genius physicians. Everything that I've learned outside of this holistic space, I've learned from them. It has made what I do in the holistic space that much more effective. However, doctors were not born doctors. Okay. We were all born on the same playing field. We were all born giving the same options to choose to study whatever it is we wanted. Do doctors study more than me? Hell yeah. Do I want to study that much? Absolutely not. So the difference between me and a doctor is I read the body, doctors study books. And that is not meant, hello, all my doctors, that is not meant for you all to be offended. It's not meant for you to be offended at all. The minute there is a question I cannot answer, I am running to the doctors. I am going to ask my parents about their opinion. So when we speak about holistic practices, there are tons of them. I specialize in high frequency lymphatic drainage. So you all need to know what that means. Y'all need to know how important that is. Because if you don't, then you don't, and you'll probably stay sick and you'll be on lots of meds and you'll be a slave to this Western medical system. Okay. So when I talk about allopathic or Western medicine, this idea of Western medicine, I am generalizing, and I'm telling you I'm generalizing because when you generalize, there are always exceptions to the rule. So for instance, when I'm speaking about Western medicine, I'm not speaking about my parents because I know how genius they are and I know that they're open to holistic modalities. However, allopathic medicine, Allopathic, what we now call Western medicine, was created by Rockefeller for profit. Has that conception changed? Has that ideal changed? No. Does that mean that doctors have bad intentions? No. Almost every doctor gets into medicine because they want to help people. However, if your training is from an ideology that is different than helping people, then we've got a little conundrum. We've got a problem, right? We've got a problem. So when I talk in general terms about Western medicine, y'all, I'm not talking about every doctor. There are exceptions. I consider my parents the best exception. They are brilliant. I wouldn't trust most doctors nowadays, but I trust them with my life. So if you hear me speak about allopathic medicine and you hear me speaking in general terms, there are exceptions to every rule. Okay, let's just put that out there. So that's the second disclaimer. Third disclaimer: I am not, in the information that I am about to give you, and I'm going to give you every Wednesday. Remember, chitchatradio410.com. Make sure that you keep up with me by going to the website, or follow us on YouTube. Third disclaimer: I am not telling any of you the information that I am telling you as the instead of you continuing on a medical regimen, medical diagnoses, medical medications. I am not telling you to leave your doctors. I am not telling you not to listen to your doctors. I am simply trying to connect us back to dots that connect in a straight line for our own sake. If things don't connect in a straight line, there is a problem. Do not do it. I don't care who tells you to do it. If it doesn't make sense to you, don't do it. However, I am not saying, well, Camille said, don't go to your doctor. I didn't say that. I'm never going to say that because I am not your doctor. I am also not you. So I don't know how connected you are to your own body. It would be unfair of me to change a regimen that you were put on with simply some information. So that's third, right? Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. Not a doctor. I am not speaking against doctors. I am not telling you not to go see your doctor. Fourth disclaimer: the things that you are going to hear me say, right? I say because I know. I have seen it, experienced it, proven it, still proving it, or my clients have experienced or are experiencing it. You don't have to ask me, ask them. So I am not going to tell you about things I've read in books because if I've read them in books, I didn't experience them, I didn't create them, I didn't do them. So I can't say them to you as fact. Okay, so that's the next disclaimer. What I am going to say, I say because I learn by watching y'all. I learned by watching the body. The body is an incredible machine, and it's so incredible. Y'all don't even believe it's that wonderful. But I'm going to start putting some things together for y'all so that you can see how we can all get to a state of wellness, because there is a very big difference between wellness and health or healthy. Do you hear what I'm saying? There is a very big difference between being healthy and being well. Being healthy is a status that can be changed, manipulated, controlled by other people. Wellness is a state of mind that can be controlled by you only, and that is it. There is no other. They are two very different spaces. I don't want to live in the health space. I want to live in the wellness space. I want to understand how we can be well. And what's amazing is that it's so very easy. None of us believe it. So during this show, during this logical wellness show, my goal is to simply connect you to the logic of wellness, because like I said in the beginning, wellness is logical. It is not scientific. We were not created in a science lab. We are not sinus. We are not science experiments, right? Which means we cannot be fixed by things that were created in a lab. One of the ideals of holistic modalities is like cures or heals like. I don't like the word cure because I don't believe in cures, because I don't believe in disease. There is no disease. I am a student of Dr. Sebi teaching, so those of you who know or knew of him know those teachings. There is no disease. There are only states of inflammation that can be reverted if the body is well enough to do it. Done. Easy. Everything else is fear mongering, which creates illness in the body, which is the other thing we don't get. So if you are somebody who is a client of mine or who know me, you know that my goal all the time, always, is to simply give you information to make you feel better. Because I feel great all the time for the same reasons that I am getting ready to give you over this span of however many shows we do. I will also feature people who are also parts of the wellness space. Because when we talk about wellness, wellness is a complete circle: body, mind, spirit, or soul. And it should revolve, and all of it should be balanced. So it's not just physicality we're talking about when we're talking about wellness. We're talking about mental, we're talking about spiritual, we're talking about financial, we're talking about sexual, we're talking about everything that has to deal with human emotion. So I will be featuring those people who can come in and help us complete that circle. I'm going to start by doing the inside out, right? I'm going to start by doing the inside out, but I wanted to make sure that those disclaimers are said, because I have had some clients who have gone back to their doctor and were like, Camille told me not to do this, and I should stop this and this. And so they were very upset with me, which I don't really care about, because as long as my clients feel better, I don't really care what anybody else says. That's my point. But I need you to be in a space where you understand your body before you stop doing things. Okay. So let's make these connections. Okay. Let's make these connections. Let me say this. You all already heard me say this, that I don't believe there is any disease. There isn't. Disease was created by the idea of disease was created by the same person who created Western medicine, right? Because before there was Western medicine, there were only holistic doctors. There were only our grandmothers, our great grandmothers that said, go pull that off the tree, eat that off the ground, pick that out of the garden. And that's how you make yourself feel better. And we actually felt better. We've become so much sicker since Big Pharma has become a thing. Okay. I'm just going to say that, whether you believe that or not, it's true. So I need you to dial it back a little. Lots of what I'm going to say, many of you have never heard before, unless you're a client of mine already. Much of what I'm going to say is going to surprise a number of you. Much of what I'm going to say, you're going to be like, what? But that makes sense. And that's all I want y'all to do. Okay, let's go here first. Let me say this in plain English so y'all get it. The body is attached by what? A head, right? The body cannot do anything, nothing. It can't breathe, it can't bleed, it can't do anything without a signal or a lack thereof from the brain. The brain communicates in what? Frequency, neurotransmitters, frequency, sound, vibration. That is what a neurotransmitter is, right? So, if the body is completely controlled by the head and the body can only do what the brain tells it, it will only do what the brain tells it, then why, when we try to fix the body, do we not visit the head? I'll wait. There's no reason, right? It's just that we're not taught that. The brain controls the body. So we cannot heal the body without finding out what happens in the head first. So let's say that not only is the brain in the head, you know what else is in the head? The sinuses, the way that you breathe. When I say to somebody, okay, how's your breathing? What do they talk about? The heart and the lungs, right? Okay, that's silly. The heart and the lungs regulate oxygen, yes? But the only nostrils we have are where? In the face. We breathe in the nostrils. The entire face and head are sinus cavities. They are full. There are 6 to 8, 6, 7, something like that in the head, right? And behind the ears. This is the nerve center of all functionality in the body. There's no brain without the head. There's no breathing without the head. There's no vision without the head. There's no hearing without the head. There's no eating or feeding the body or drinking water without the head. Okay? Which is why I began to study the sinuses. And I will get into the types of things that I have seen the body do when I open the face. It's very easy. And the body cannot lie to you. Why don't we listen to the body when the body speaks to us? Because we're not trained to listen to the body when the body speaks to us. The body speaks to us every single time we do anything. But we live in America and we don't slow the hell down, and we have no idea how to listen to our bodies because we're never still. Okay? We never slow down, take naps. We talk about other countries that do that, but guess what? They're a lot healthier than us. We are the only country in the world, y'all, that has big pharma. Yes? But we are the fattest, the sickest, the most addicted, the meanest, and we die the quickest. That's not a coincidence to you. It's a coincidence to me. If you watch TV, all you got to do is watch TV and watch them force deadening, body deadening medications while they tell you they're forcing body deadening medications to you, yet they're a trillion dollar industry because we still go take them because somebody else told us we should. So when I say to people that you have to start to learn to listen to yourself, the first place you have to do that is in the head, right? You have to start listening to yourself in the head. And when I say listen, look, listen, those of you who are in my generation and older, remember what we were taught? We were taught the schoolhouse rock songs. They used to tell us the knee bone is connected to the thigh bone, which connected to the hip bone. Everything is connected. It's one piece of machinery. It's one piece of skin. If I slit, this is kind of morbid, so I'm going to use myself. If I slit my head in the top of my head and pull the skin down off my body, you do understand it's one piece of skin, right? There isn't a different piece of skin for each piece of the body. It's one piece of skin. It's one car. It is one machine, and it is a machine that was perfectly made. It was made with every piece in it that it needed, and it was made with every signal in it that it needs, and it was made in a systematic function that was meant to work as a system. We cannot break that system. And here's a secret for you, and maybe it's not a secret for some of you. It doesn't matter who or what you think created humans. right? Whether you think it was God, Buddha, we came from the stars, we came from the universe, doesn't matter what you think, right? Because the one thing you cannot deny is that humans didn't make humans. Humans did not make humans, which means humans can't fix humans. Stop relying on our own humanity to fix us when we have no idea what the hell is going on in here anyway. The only thing that we could do is learn how to listen. That's what I'm going to teach you. Over these shows, I'm going to teach you how to listen. And I am going to teach you how to watch. I'm going to teach you how to understand when your body is screaming at you that it needs you to take something out. And instead of taking something out, you keep putting shit in. So my goal is to make sure that the dots connect, like this dot. Humans didn't create humans, so humans can't fix humans. Humans weren't created in a lab, so anything created in a lab cannot fix humans. Humans are part of nature, which means humans can only be healed by nature. It's that simple. It's that simple. And if you are somebody who believes in the Bible, whatever story that may be, if you believe in the King James Version that talks about the Garden of Eden and what we were given and what God did for us, then what did we get in the Garden of Eden? A raw diet, right? A raw diet. Fruits, vegetables, water. That's what we were given to eat, right? Because we are a part of nature. So we were given that same thing to eat. And when we talk about the functionality of the body cannot live without oxygen, water, and minerals. Again, the same things he gave us in the Garden of Eden, right? Yeah. So those are the things that we need for life. Yes. When you go to the hospital, what do they give you? They put you on fluids, which is, guess what, y'all? Guess what? It's mineral salt water, same mineral salt water that we're made of, and oxygen, right? Water and fluids. If you are dying, that's what they're giving you. They are putting it into you because they know that's what it takes for us to live. And then if we go back to this Garden of Eden story, what did God do to give us life? He breathed into third eye, into the nose. So why is this not one of the first places that we start? That is the reason that I created the sinus facial that I created, because the body can't function without oxygen. I have seen the body eat its own tumors, cysts, polyps. I have seen the body change structure by simply opening the face, not even touching the body. So there is nothing anybody can ever tell me that the body cannot do on its own, because I see the opposite every single day. And don't ask me, ask my clients. My clients will tell you, there's I see many clients who are sent to me because for years they've seen scores of doctors, and guess what? They couldn't get any help. They couldn't get any answers, and they didn't feel better. They come to see me once or twice, they feel like a whole different person. And that is not Camille. Camille is not the genius. The body is the genius. So we need to discuss how we all get to that point. Because guess what? I was born just like you. We all have the same brain that is connected to a body that is run by a lymphatic system. So let's get into the lymphatic system, because they're trying to keep that secret from y'all too. The lymphatic system is your most important system in the body. Do you hear me? Without the lymphatic functionality on autopilot, we all die and we all get sick, because people know about the immune system. But guess what? You do know there's no immune system, right? Immunity is a process of automatic 365 days a year process of the lymph system to detox inflammation in the body. Remember what I said, no disease. What did Dr. Sebi say? There is no disease. It is all inflammation. And you know what creates inflammation? Lack of oxygen. So again, back to starting in the face. Let's connect these logical dots, y'all. Let's connect these logical dots, okay? So the lymphatic system is a system that runs through your entire body and starts in the head. Okay. Many people who have lymphatic problems have continued lymphatic problems like lymphedema and edema because they're not starting at the top. The lymph system starts up here, not here. This is where the lymph system for the body starts. The lymph system up here starts for life. Life is here, right? Life. Okay. The lymph system is a system that runs through the entire body, and it's got these little things called lymph node receptacles that run along the body, run along that system, because the system runs along the veins and the capillaries and pulls all this little inflammatory shit from it and dumps it in the receptacles. Those receptacles then dump where? Behind the reproductive organs and the kidneys, and out in the urine, feces, or menstrual cycle, ladies. Y'all keep playing with your menstrual cycles, which are a natural detox of the body, and you wonder why you have fibroids and endometriosis and all that other stuff that we have, right? Because we keep playing with the system. Stop playing with the system. The system is already there for it to do what it needs to do. Man screws that up all the time. We've been screwing up since the Garden of Eden. So we need to stop relying on ourselves and rely on the system. The system's already there. So the lymph system has this automatic process. This process of the body is supposed to happen 24/7, 365 without symptoms. If you have a symptom, you get a headache, you itch, you get bruises, you have pain. Those are all indicators that your detox channel is not functioning. Your lymphs have a stagnation in them somewhere. They are blocked somewhere. And so wherever they're blocked, you're going to have a symptom. Okay? Symptoms are not to be ignored, and they certainly are not meant to be medicated. Because if you medicate them, you mask their effectiveness. And that's stupid, because that's the body's way. That's the body's way of telling us where the problem is. I use the word stupid a lot, and I mean stupid, right? Because I need y'all to get how stupid we are. Stupid. If I'm talking logical wellness, illogical means lack of common sense. That's the same thing as stupid. So when I say stupid, I mean stupid. Illogical, does not connect, does not make sense, right? So this lymphatic system has to function. But remember what we are. Remember what we are on the inside. So we are just skin on the outside, right? The skin is a warning flag. It's a signal flag. It signals to us where something is wrong on the inside, right? Because remember, we're humans. So we have no idea the actual functionality on the inside of the body, and we will never, ever, never, ever be able, until the end of man, be able to figure out the natural functionality of the body. Because unless you are some sort of little microorganism that's running through the body and is taking video of what is happening, you will not be able to figure it out, because the minute the body gets something foreign, it stops functioning in its natural function. So we will never be able to understand it. What we do have to understand, though, is how it speaks to us. If we understand how it speaks to us, we can fix it. Okay? So that's the deal. We can fix it. That lymphatic system, though, remember what's on the inside of the body. We are energy, electricity. We are frequency. You know, if you like take your shoes off and you take off your socks and you rub your feet across a carpet and you go and touch somebody, you shock them. Yeah. That is your soul. That is the soul and the essence of a human. We are electricity, but not are we just electricity. We are electricity surrounded by mineral-based salt water. Salt water, sodium chloride, like the ocean. Sodium chloride, that's the majority of the salt water that we are made up of, is sodium chloride. So do you understand? And if you don't believe me, what do? You cry salt, you sweat salt, you pee salt. But unless you guys are really kind of gross, I don't think you'd actually know that for real, because I certainly don't know that. But I know in tests, there is that salt in urine. So we are salt water. Do you know what kind of amazing balance has to happen? Do you understand what kind of amazing balance has to be in place for that salt water not to short circuit our bodies? I just want you to think about that for a second. So, that specific balance is called wellness, right? When that balance is so strong that we are not short circuiting ourselves, that's called homeostasis. It's called alkalinity. It's called pH balance. It's called wellness. The minute that balance is out of balance, we start to get inflammation, fire, hot. You know what cools fire? Oxygen. You know what happens when you don't have enough of that oxygen? You're on fire. So we need to understand this functionality. Okay. So the lymphs are crucial for your life. No other system in the body can function the way it needs to without the ability of the lymphs to detox and allow that balance to happen. So, what's the issue? We live in America and our entire lives fucks that up, excuse my language, but sometimes I use that for effect because it's important. Everything we do, we don't eat real food anymore. We don't even shower in clean water. We got fluoride in our water. We don't eat real food. We don't drink or wash in clean water. And most importantly, y'all, we are not breathing oxygen. I live in Atlanta. I am currently in the DMV. Let me explain something to y'all who live in the DMV. This stagnation of heat that you have, that is literally like living in Hades, is deadly. At least in Atlanta, we have trees and we have some breeze that gives us some relief. But what's happening here, where we don't have any trees, they are doing nothing but construction, and we go outside and we're like, damn, it's hot. No, it's deadly. Okay. It's deadly because what is in there is more toxin than there is oxygen. And when that happens, let's see how much time we got. Let me go here. Let's finish this first. So we are not breathing oxygen. And I'm going to show you in a minute how deadly that is for all of us. Okay. For all of us. This is when we breathe, oxygen has to be the air that we breathe is not just oxygen. And right now we're not breathing oxygen. We're breathing more toxin than we are oxygen. Okay. You have to understand that the body was only meant to process minerals, oxygen, and water. You're talking about molecular sizes of 0.0002 to 0.00046 size nanometers in molecule size. So when I talk about toxic molecules, here's an example. You know what a sugar molecule, you know the size of a sugar molecule? The size of a sugar molecule is 1 entire nanometer. So if we're only supposed to be taking in things that are 0.0000224, whatever the number is in nanometers, the minute you put one sugar molecule in your mouth, guess what you get? Stagnation, block, clog. Okay. So imagine if we're breathing molecules from car exhaustion, if we're breathing molecules from construction, if we're breathing molecules that are so much bigger than what we are meant to process, we're dying just by living. I mean, in theoretical terms, our lives are death. Absolutely. Our lives are death. So we need to make sure that we know how to keep this clean. So let me explain this little process for you before we got to go. And I will definitely let y'all I'm going to bring y'all a surprise next week, or maybe I'll bring her on the week after next. But I just want to show you how important it is for you all to keep this open. My clients, you know this. Y'all can teach this. What do I always say? Keep the trash cans open. So I'm going to explain a little something for you. And then I'm going to give you a little exercise that all of you all can do. Because remember, I want y'all to be well. It sucks to be sick. It sucks to be angry. It sucks to be mad. It sucks to be a part of this current generation. Because some of these kids, poor babies, are so inflamed and full, they are literally freaking nuts. They're crazy. And Western medicine likes to say, it's autism or it's this mental disease. No, it's mucus. Okay. So remember this. Not only do we have this lymph system, and not only are we a fluid system that surrounds energy, the body is lined on the inside with mucus. Yeah. That mucus is supposed to stay thin enough to make sure stagnation in the body doesn't happen. That's what the mucus is for, right? To keep the ebb and flow. Remember, we are universally natural. We are just like the ocean. We are supposed to keep this ebb and flow so sediment doesn't settle and make us sick. Okay. When we breathe air, where do we breathe air? Up the nostril, right? When air gets to third eye, those of y'all in the metaphysical space, y'all get the importance of third eye. Third eye, metaphysically, is the key to life. Biologically, it's also the key to life because right in this space is the intersection of three of your most important sinus cavities. There are air holes that now filter the air through the rest of the body. You've got the sphenoid and ethmoid sinuses. These go up, feed the brain. These go down, feed the body. If this ain't right, neither are you. If this is not happening well, then your body is breaking down. So, third eye, crucial, three sinus cavities. The air's got to go up, it's got to be filtered through the air holes. But if the molecules are too big to float through the air holes, what do you get? Remember, the body's smarter than you are. The body's like, uh-oh, blockage. How do the lymphs how do they send their soldiers? In fluid, right? The lymphs are responsible for the healing mechanism of sending fluid to an area. So if you've got a blockage right here, right? You got a blockage of molecules. The lymphs send all of this fluid here, right? But then the lymphs are also responsible of pulling that fluid out so you can pee it out once the healing has happened. However, what does it take the lymphs to function? Oxygen and water. But if we're not breathing oxygen and you're not literally flushing yourself with water, minimum gallon a day, guess what you now have? Now you have another block. The body says, uh-oh, damn. Now we got to send some more fluid. And as that fluid sits, it settles in tissues. And then the more it settles, the longer it settles, it becomes what? Hard, scar tissue. Most of y'all think this is a bone. That's not a bone. Look at a skeleton. If you look at a skull, this is a hole. There is nothing here. This ski slopes on the side of the nose are not bone. That's calcified mucus that they now call scar tissue on the side of the septum, which is cartilage. So those of y'all who run and go get these sinus surgeries, that's dumb. Well, not you're dumb, but that whole idea of a sinus surgery is dumb because you know what they do? They go up and they scrape out the scar tissue, which what? Causes more scar tissue because anything traumatic to the body causes the body to send fluid, which will eventually become scar tissue if we're not breathing air. Okay. So the lymphs, remember I talked about the lymphs? So here's what air is supposed to do. It's supposed to go up the nostrils at the air holes. It's supposed to be filtered underneath the eye wells, which is on top of the maxillary sinus, over to the trash cans behind the ears, where the lymphs then say, okay, let me filter again, right? Let me filter again. So down across the eye wells, this is one sinus cavity. Behind the ears, down underneath what's called the mandible sinus or the jaw, under the chin, down into the thoracic duct where the body begins to breathe. Body doesn't begin to breathe till here, y'all. But guess what? If this isn't giving enough air to here, then guess what you got? Blockage, asthma, COPD, allergies, name something. That's what they call this. Now what's happening is that you get a buildup of what? Mucus. So remember, fluid and mucus are underneath the skin. Those blockages are what cause everything. Pain. Every time you feel pain, it's fluid. Remember, the body is fluid on the inside. Every time you feel pain, it is fluid. Every time you itch, it is fluid. Either the fluid is moving or coming or building or settling in the tissues. Okay. But you are feeling it. Okay. So if we have this problem, so we talked about the air going this way, we also have a sinus cavity that feeds air this way. So if there's a blockage, when people have hair loss, where do you always see their hair loss? Here and here, right? Because if the face is inflamed, remember, water is the strongest thing on earth, y'all. It will take out a city in a millisecond. We are that same water, like the ocean. So it will very easily move skeletal bones out of the way if it needs to until it settles. So we need to get what we're looking at when we're looking at ourselves and we're looking at bloat and all of that. This is the place to start. And it will always, always, always indicate problems, redness in the eyes, mucus filled pupils. That's because your sinus cavities are inflamed. Hair loss, sinus problem. Heart problems, sinus problems. If the heart isn't being fed enough air, what is it going to do? It's going to beat irregularly, right? If the lungs don't have enough air, what might they do? Fill up with fluid. If there's not enough air that's allowing the lymphs to pull excess fluid, what might we get? Lymphedema and edema. It's not, listen, wellness is not hard. Healthcare is hard as shit, but I don't want to be a part of healthcare. I want to be well. Well is easy. It is our God given birthright, and we give it up to, to Western medicine and big pharma. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. And I will say this, and I said this in the beginning. I am not telling you all not to go to your doctors at all, because there are certain things that I can't answer. There are certain things that you can't answer. However, you are helping your doctor understand you when you can take them information that you have every single day of your life. Okay? I'm just going to say this logically. How is it that we allow, and doctors don't get mad at me, I'm simply asking a question. If you can answer me, that's a logical answer, I'll shut up. How can we visit a doctor one time in 365 days of the year for less than an hour and let that doctor tell us what our blood pressure is or isn't? I'll wait. Yeah, it can't, right? Doesn't make sense. So these are the things that I'm trying to get you to see. We are in a state where we are naturally our own doctor. It doesn't mean don't go to the doctor. It simply means help that person make you better quicker by giving them the information that you will have and they won't. I'm sorry, that's just fact. You can't refute that. My father was pissed at me the other day because I said that. And I was like, so wait a minute. Are you telling me that you don't think that people should listen to their bodies and bring you more information? But for his training, it didn't sound right to him. But I am not a scientist. I am a person that was born with a brain that connects and controls my body. So I would like to listen to what my brain is telling me. Because if you all go to a doctor, if you go to a doctor. So let me say this before I say that. Remember, the brain is logical. If what you are hearing, listen to me carefully, if what your brain is hearing does not make logical sense to the systematic brain, it is impossible to fix your body. Did you hear me? If something you're being told does not make logical, systematic sense to a frequency in a brain, it is impossible that that thing can fix your body, because the body does nothing unless the brain tells it. Period. Okay? Period. Period and period. So I just want you to get that. I need you to get that. Now I'm going to say this. Now I'm going to say this. If you go to a doctor, or even me, or a practitioner, any practitioner, if you go to anybody, I don't care who it is, let's even take this out of the medical space. If you go to anybody and that person suggests that you do something, you take something, or you don't do or take something, and it makes absolutely no sense to you, it sits badly in your spirit, and you know it won't work, and you do it because that person tells you to, you are that person's slave. I mean, isn't that definition? If you take a medication, if you do a surgery, if you do anything that your soul is telling you, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, your brain is telling you, don't do this, don't do this, and you do it anyway, you're a slave. You're a slave. I don't want to be a slave. We all have the same power over our bodies. It is okay to tell your doctor no. If you have a doctor who listens, like my parents, they'll listen, and they even integrate holistic modalities into the things that they do. But if you go to a doctor who does not listen to you, or who is not agreeable to suggestions about how you want to handle your own body, get another doctor. Get another doctor. Roll out. Goodbye. Because that's not going to end well for you. That's not going to end well for you. So my deal in this, y'all, is simply to have you sit sometimes, understand that the body is logical, slow down enough to listen to certain signs and signals, and then be able to take that to the appropriate whoever that you're going to, so that it works out better for you, right? That's all I'm trying to do. That's all logical wellness is. Because the body is systematic and it's logical, the dots must connect next to each other in a straight line. If they don't, there's a problem. And if there's a problem, why would you be a part of it? Because clearly the problem is going to be a bigger problem that you don't have a solution to, right? So I want you to make sure that you join me every Wednesday at 7:30. You gotta, y'all. You have to go to chitchatradio410.com. Make sure that you subscribe to it so that you can get all the information I'm putting out. If you want to leave comments, questions for the next show, let me know. I am also live streaming on IG on CEJ Images. You can also follow us on YouTube. Chit Chat Radio 410 on YouTube, because it's not just my show. We have great shows. We have great music. Y'all gotta listen to the music. We are a worldwide company, so you guys have opportunities to come in. You got something to say? You want to be a broadcaster? Then let us know. You can reach out to us, chitchatradio410 at Gmail. If you're interested in advertising, you can advertise. Now, I will tell you this. Camille doesn't bring you any BS. So if you want to advertise during my show, I need to accept you as somebody that can advertise during my show. You can advertise all you want on the station, but if you want to advertise during my show, that's a little different, because I want to make sure that what you all are getting is what you need, right? And what we need is to reconnect to the brain. Do you understand that that's the power that the powers that be in this country and social media have on us? Do you know that? Because understand what TV is, understand what social media is. It is all frequency. And guess what controls the frequency of the brain? What we see, what we hear, what we eat, what we smell. So if you're smelling, watching, eating crap all the time, that's where your brain is. Your brain's on slow mode. And a lot of the things that are happening in this country right now, a lot of these shootings and killings, and listen, you youngsters, like you teenagers and you young people, I love you because you're human, but y'all are crazy. You're crazy. And it's not even your fault. right? It's not even your fault. You all were born from mothers who have been breathing and living in this toxic environment where you're coming out with brains full of mucus. And when your brain is full of fluid and excess mucus, it's like a phone. You short circuit like this. That's what you do. You can't think. Your emotions are all over the place. And, you're like your generation. Love y'all, though. Love y'all. But y'all are different people. Um, and I need y'all to get that certain frequencies have got to stop. Please turn off the news, particularly mainstream media. Turn off the news. If you have to watch the news, at least expand into watching other news segments or other people. Stop watching that shit that they are putting out all day, every day. Understand that what is really running COVID is your fear. It is all, listen, and up here in the DMV, because y'all are so close to that White House, I don't care who's in it, doesn't matter. This place up here, the energy is toxic, and you all have got to separate yourself from that toxicity. Turn off your freaking phone. My friends know. I love y'all, but my friends know I will watch my phone ring and not answer it. Because if your bandwidth is not prepared to handle other people's bandwidths, don't engage. You need to separate sometimes. That is a part of wellness. Part of wellness is self care. A big part of self care is separating yourself. I don't care if it's from your family, your kids. Go in a room, shut a door, turn off your phone, make sure that you're drinking water. We haven't even talked about diet yet, but I just need y'all to understand how to get to a place of wellness. Wellness just isn't about, does my body feel okay today? Does my brain feel well? Did I sleep well? What did I eat? What kind of friends do I have? Do you even know who your friends are? I have dropped a lot of friends, not because I didn't like them, but because they didn't feed my energy, right? They're not feeding my energy. It's fine. Sometimes people are there for a season. It's time to let them go. But you have to put you first, because if you don't, you can't take care of anybody else, right? And we are all, remember, a collective energy. All of us. We are all connected because we were all connected by the same universal amazement, whatever you may call that, whoever you may call that. So understand, if your energy's messed up and you're coming around me, I'm going to block you, first of all. But if it was somebody else, you're sharing energy, right? You are sharing energy with people. And so your energy has to be right. Energy, holistic energy, is inclusive. It is circular. We have to make sure that we are good, y'all. We have to make sure that we are good. So I will always remind people of certain things to keep them well. One, love yourself first, right? Love yourself first. Two, understand your power. It is powerful being a human. We're so powerful, we can only access 10% of our brain. Some of us 5, but maximum 10. So if we could do what we could do now, imagine if we are really connecting to this powerhouse we call a brain, right? 3, love others. You don't have to love them physically, but love the fact that you are no better than every other universal creation. And all of us have a purpose and are meant to do something in this collective energy, or we wouldn't be put here. Laugh a lot, laugh a lot. Ask anybody who knows me, I laugh all day. And then people are like, nothing ever bothers you. No. 3, nothing ever bothers you, and it doesn't. Next, brush your shoulders off. Don't let stuff bother you. Don't let it sit, because it can only bother you if you let it. And last, stay well. You can stay well by doing well, by being well, by surrounding yourself with wellness. Make sure you come see me every Wednesday. You can do it on IG. Please go to the website and subscribe so that you can make sure you know what I'm doing. 7:30 to 8:30 every Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I'll have a feature for y'all, I think. and it'll be a good one. It'll be a surprise, but it'll be another part of wellness, and you all truly will enjoy it. Other than that, thank you for joining. I will see y'all next